You know, that Dee lady has been at it again. Dee's distinctive cutting dies is what Dee creates, and she's done a wonderful job.
And our design team has done some wonderful things with these cutting dies. In fact, some surprising things too.
Yeah, wait till you see this garden. Come play with us. Well, here is Dee's latest collection. And now, one thing you may be saying is, now why would I need 4 different kinds of flowers?
Well, because they look great when they're combined together.
Don't tell them, we'll just show them.
Okay,
we'll just show you.
I said that.
Yeah. So there are 4 different, Dee numbers her things.
Right. So we have flower number 1, flower number 2, flower number 3, and flower number 4. They're just a little bit different, and they give some really different effects. And then we have orchid number 1, and then we have the flower stems.
Right, so let's get to what you can do with them. Yeah, so you can scoot those away. We're going to start with the orchid. And what I love, and I think what you love about Dee's cutting dies, is the way that she sculpts them. And while that sounds really fancy, it's really pretty easy.
It is pretty easy, but you do have to have a molding kit or a paper molding kit.
It helps, doesn't it?
Right, and we have one here on Paper Wishes. This is the one that we use. It has several different tools which have these ball ends, a stylus at the end of each, and those are what are used to shape that paper. It also has these handy reverse tweezers that can be used. So you need a piece of foam or a mouse pad to place the paper pieces on. And these are the pieces that you're going to get when you use that orchid cutting die. The neat thing about these dies is that they come like this with all of those pieces connected. They're connected with just these tiny little, you can see these tiny little wire pieces that connect them. You can leave it all together, cut them all at the same time, or if you like, you can cut those apart with wire snips. Very easy to do. Make sure that you cut them off completely so that they're not sharp. So once you do that, one pass will give you 3 pieces. I've done these with different pieces of paper, so more than one pass. So first of all, we're going to do what's called a convex shape. That's where it's like a dish.
Now what surprises me is the different styluses that you use.
Right.
That great big one looks like that's what you're going to use. Now I would not have thought that you would use that. So interesting.
For me, the bigger the piece, I kind of start with the larger ball, because I don't want to put, if I were to start with the small one, watch, I'll do it on this one because I wasn't really going to use this one. If I start with the small one, I go on the edge and I put a lot of pressure, it's going to create like a crease. And I don't really want that line. I want it to be smooth. If I use this, it's going to be much more,
curvy.
Right. So and you can start with that on the edge. For a smaller piece like this one, they're so tiny.
It's hiding, yeah.
Then I'll go to the smaller piece and work on those smaller areas. You won't get that crease, you'll get that curved up shape. And you see right away it just starts curving up. It lifts it,
doesn't it?
Right, it does. So
they almost come alive when you're doing that.
Right. For this one, I'm going to go on one side. I'm actually on the back side of it. Let me see. Yes.
Yeah.
For this one, I'm on the back side of the piece. I can even use the larger one right in the center and sort of go around the edges.
I love how it cups.
Right, and then finish off with the smaller stylus. And you can, play around with the different sizes of styluses and see which one you like best. But this is it says convex. Convex is like a dish shape. It's like a bowl. And that's how I'm shaping these into this convex shape. But then I turn it over, and when I put it on the piece, it's actually going to be like that.
So those stamens are going down and under.
Right. So you can see, so I turn it over and then it's shaped like that. Now for this one, I actually want this to be on top, and I'm also going to do what's called a convex shape. I'm going to shape it on the top side of the orchid, the side that I want to be seen. Okay. So that's the 2 different ways that you can do it. I'm doing it kind of quickly. And if I do both of these sides.
But that's really is part of it, is that it doesn't take, I mean, you don't have to labor over this.
Right.
It's just a few strokes,
There it is.
and it gives you that dimension.
And then you can just set that right on top of it. And then this third piece goes behind, like you can see on the card. You can see that
So there
third
you
piece
go.
behind there. But that's how it's done. Just very easy to shape them. I would put, you can push that one down in the middle. I'm going to hold it down with this so you can see. You can just zot it down in the middle, or you can foam tape it if you want it to sit up a little higher.
Okay, and then put that third one behind it, as you said. Now, I do see a little bit of chalking that was done in the center, I'm assuming.
There's some chalking in the center, even on the edges. It was used to just accent it a little bit, get a little bit different. And this is done on the Emma's Garden paper pack.
I also love the background. Now, that lattice is our fancy lattice. Now, this particular one is foam filled, so it's going to release pretty easily.
Right.
But
So
it gives
very easy to get all those tiny little cutting die cut pieces to pop out.
It gives a really nice background for that. Now, these stems, is that done with the stem?
The stems are done, correct, with this one, with the flower stems. So you just get one that's kind of straight and one's a little bit curved.
Which is nice.
Yeah, so easy to just cut those out and put those behind. And you're just doing layering, all of these cutting dies. Once you cut them out, you cut out the pieces and you're just going to be layering them.
And this has got I love you, and then on the inside you are my everything. And that's with the
inside outside dazzles. It's the 3-pack.
That new pack, there we go.
Super useful. I've been using those on just about everything.
So beautiful look. And of course with orchids they come in so many colors, so you can do so many things with it.
And certainly, and you could do these on white cardstock and then ink the edges and the centers and make them any color orchid that you like.
Very pretty, very, very pretty.
Beautiful.
Okay, now we're going to go to the other flowers.
Okay.
And this one I think is very fun to make them kind of stand up like that.
Stand up like sort of like a thistle, the top of a thistle. And that one is flower number 2.
Right.
Which again comes in this piece that it's all together. And you notice it has 3 different sizes of flowers. So once you cut those out and you get the centers with them, then you stack them on top of each other to get this layered effect, and to get the larger ones are behind. So those are 3 layers done on the Gypsy Jewels paper pack. And what I love about these flowers, I have to say, if you've ever seen the Disney Alice in Wonderland thing, they look like those little talking flowers in the
And they do, and they do. They just look happy, don't they?
You could draw a little face on there. It'd be pretty cute.
Now, I do appreciate that, again, just that dimension, that little bit just adds so much. I do think the Gypsy Jewels was an excellent choice of papers because it gives that gradation in them, and just lovely.
It's beautiful. But the leaves that were done on there were not done with a cutting die. They were done with a template, and it is our 3D flowers template. So there are lots of flowers on the template, but there is also a leaf pattern right here. And so if you take that leaf pattern, I've got the template over here ready to, and I've got this green paper. I'm going to do it on the back because that's just easier. You can put the leaf on there. I know I've got the template upside down, but it
don't worry about it.
That doesn't matter. You go ahead and trace your leaf design. This is what Lene did for these leaves. Or I think maybe Debbie did it. Yeah. So you go ahead and trace an outer leaf like that. You cut it out, which I've already done, and then you cut it in half. And I just wanted to make sure that you understood. I was
wondering how you were going to get skinny leaves out of that.
You're not cutting it in half this way. You're cutting it in half this way.
Vertically.
And you can do it in a straight line, end to end, or you can sort of give it a little curve if you like. It's up to you. So there you've got a leaf like that.
Excellent.
And I would even fold it down the center. It sort of looks like it's folded down the center, and that gives it a little bit of dimension.
Very good. Yeah, I think
simple.
that dimension just adds so much, both in what Dee does and what in what else was done. So here it is on the front of the card. Are you ready?
Okay.
There it is on the inside. So those petals went down. And celebrate. I love how that's going along the side.
And here's the stem that was used from the cutting die, and then just one of the leaves just left flat, and with the happy birthday, the happy birthday 3-pack dazzle.
There, see, they dance, they dance. If you look really fast, they dance. I think that's really fun. Okay, enough.
Okay.
Maybe not enough.
That's all right.
And
you can have fun with it like that.
here is, now this is a different of the flowers, right?
Well, this is a mix of several
Ah,
flowers.
excellent.
Let's see if we can figure out which ones they all are.
Probably all of them.
I see right here. So here's number one. This is very, very ornate.
Very,
a whole bunch
and very
of them.
fine.
Right, very fine. There's number two, and that's some of the ones with that sort of the teardrop look that
It's kind of like a daisy more.
Right. Here's the flower number three, which you're
Okay.
seeing on the bases of some of
Right.
these, down at the base. And flower number four, which you're getting all the way like up here and here, and there are different
Okay.
sizes, and they all have those flower centers.
So the layering is going on here.
Right.
That's a nice addition.
That is a really fun thing. So you've got all of these different, I just want to show you, all of these different flower cutting dies, and you can just start playing around and layering them. Set one down like so, and just put whatever feels right on top of that. Maybe another one of these. Ooh, there's kind of a light side on it. So just stack them up and then add a little flower center on there. And these weren't even shaped. You can shape
Yeah,
them, but
these
in
are
something
flat.
like this, there's so many of them that it's just not really necessary.
I
to
think the
really shape
layering
that
of them
way.
like that is just brilliant.
It is beautiful. I kind of want to show you one other
Yeah,
thing.
go ahead.
about those particular cutting dies, when you cut them out, a couple of them, this is flower number 4 and flower number 1. You get this evacuated space, which I think is really interesting. You could use in a lot of different ways. This one sort of reminds me of a clamshell.
It does.
And this one could be sun rays or a shrub,
bushes, yeah.
of pine sprigs. But maybe even an eyelash, if you used a couple of them, really big, funky looking eyelashes. So these are really cool. I mean, you could cut them out and use the cutting dies like that
Right.
too, but the evacuated shapes are also
That
beautiful.
can also become a stencil if you
Yeah,
like.
there you go.
But beautifully done, just a really rich card. Now, we have some dazzles, tiny words and phrases, we have small stamps, and sometimes people will say, well, why would you ever need something little? Well, this is exactly why.
Right.
Because you've got a wonderful focal that's just glorious, but you still want to have your message. So
Right.
whether it's get well, whatever it is, having those smaller sizes is really helpful, especially in card making.
Right, and it's great. It just looks like a little tag down here. I love the flower pot, by the way. It's just a rectangular shape cut on top, but on the bottom you just cut the sides of your paper at an angle.
And then we're going to give that pattern,
We're gonna
so
give a
that'll be in
pattern
the
for that,
gallery.
so that's simple.
Yes.
Right.
Now, you ready for something else that's pretty and
Yes.
amazing? Well, look
Wow.
at this.
Just beautiful.
Wow.
Another mix of those flowers. And
Yes.
on the gallery it tells you exactly which cutting dies are used for each of these cards.
Yes.
So you'll see that. But just layering them with those specialty papers is just a big
Isn't
punch.
that amazing? Now,
Beautiful.
what has been used is the gold sparkles. You can see that around the
Right.
edge. And then we have the pink hearts is in there.
Yeah.
And is that
And,
it?
Let's
Oh.
see. Gold
think so.
sparkles, pink hearts. That
I
looks
think
like
that's
about
it.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Now, just like the orchid, we've done a cutting die behind it, and this happens to be the 2 oval doilies. But look what a nice background that gives for this to kind of come into.
Right. It's just framing it like that. You see some other leaves here, some really heavily
ferny?
like ferns, ferny type leaves. Those are another one of the Dee's cutting dies, and we don't have the package here to show you, but we've used it on other webisodes, and it's
Right.
listed in the gallery. So you've got that fern, plus you've got strips of paper here, which I think were used from the stem cutting die, and if you just wrap them around a pencil, you'll get a nice little
Let's
curly
get in
effect.
close so you can see that. See the one up top?
Right.
How cute
just take
is that?
thin little strips like that and just wrap them around.
And
the
then
pencil.
down there, so it just adds a little dimension.
Right.
Very, very beautiful.
It's a beautiful.
I don't think I
art.
would have thought of doing that. So that always pleases me when it's something on the
Right.
inside, keeping you in my heart. Very,
Very pretty.
very, very
and
pretty.
the whole card was just done on black cardstock, so it's just very striking.
Now we have another, and here is this. Wow.
So in this one, we're using flower number 1.
Okay, that was the
And-
one with the real spindly, very
Right.
thin pieces.
And you can also see the stems here going up to the flowers. I think that's one of the stems used as a border down at the bottom as well.
Oh, because there was a straight one, wasn't there?
Right.
Now, what about these centers?
Well, first of all, these are done in suede. So
they're done in suede?
Yeah.
Oh, they are. Oh, you can pet them.
soft.
Oh, you guys, this is so neat.
They're like little.
It doesn't take much.
Tribbles. Anyway, they're furry little suede flowers.
If you don't know what a tribble is, you have to watch Star Trek. Sorry.
The tribbles. So you've got 2 layers of these. Now that's not just one of the. That's 2
Okay.
of those, and so they're offset a little bit. So you
And
would
these
take-
have been shaped, haven't they?
They have been
Yeah.
shaped downward, so you can take 2 of them and stack on top of each other and get much
And
more
offset it.
dimension.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And then the centers, which are also cut out with the cutting dies, they were cut out from the snow suede as well.
Same thing.
But then Debbie got out the yellows, Spectrum Noir pens, and colored them yellow. You can
That's
color,
what that pack looks
there
like.
you go. You can color them right on the suede. I suggest cutting them before, or excuse me, coloring the piece before, because it's a lot easier than trying to cut one of those, color one of those small pieces.
I didn't know you could do this.
I didn't either. I'd never thought of it. So just go back and forth and you can
Wow.
color.
So if you don't have the exact color of suede you want,
Right.
make it your own.
Make it what you
Wow.
want. I kind of like going both ways. It kind of eliminates some of those lines that you're seeing.
Wow.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's
So
really
get the color
amazing.
you like. It's still fuzzy and furry.
We're here for you, folks. Look at this. Now, something else is going on. I see some embossing or something over on the right-hand
From an
side.
embossing folder, and that is from the Rose Corner.
Okay.
Am I right? Yes. The Rose
Now,
Corner.
isn't that interesting? Because that rose is so special
Right.
that you kind of don't see the dots.
Right.
But why
they're
not
great.
use them?
They're great for a background, and so the embossing folder was taken, and just on that piece of the paper before it was set onto the card front, just part of it was used, just that part. So you place it like
Just
that
down there.
and
I
run it through
see.
your embossing folder.
Okay.
The other cool thing is that makes it sort of look, I think, like a trellis.
Like a trellis, it does.
And then here are these leaves going up, and that's another cutting die.
It is. This is the 12 Flower Frenzy. Now, the Flower Frenzy has been a great seller. It also has a stamp set to match it. But you can see that these leaves, and what is so nice about them is see that they've got an evacuated area. So they're just kind of fancy, and you can just let them run up the trellis just
I
like
love that
so.
you can see through it. You can also back those. There's a piece with the cutting dies that you can cut out a leaf and back them with a different colored paper.
And I like being able to use the products in multiple ways. So it's nice to see this cross section and the wish up on top, and then on the inside, just a couple of them. I like them going different directions.
And with that one stem, that's just
Yeah,
beautiful.
keeping you in my
and
heart.
those are the inside-outside greetings dazzles.
Again,
that we
yes.
have.
Beautiful. And now, scrapbookers, we have something for you. Are you ready? Because this
Okay.
is gorgeous.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful.
Okay, let's
just
let's
gorgeous.
dissect this a little
Okay,
bit.
We'll start with the fact that it's done on butterfly wings paper,
Right.
which is one of our newer ones, and it's just beautiful.
And this is glorious. This is just, okay.
So we have some of the flowers here.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm seeing flower number 3. So here we go. We're seeing
Which is
flower
that
number
wider petal.
3. And really, I think that's the only one of the
Yeah.
D's dies that was used, was flower number
Wow.
3. And for the stems behind those flowers, it is the swirl vine.
The viney swirl.
swirl.
And I have to tell you, I think that this is so versatile.
Oh, yeah.
But you really need to see ideas. And this is one of those
Different ways to use
ideas.
them. What's
Yeah.
great about that is that you can wrap it around the
Yeah.
tops of things. But the interesting thing about these flowers is, okay, they're cut out. They're not shaped. They're just laying flat. But they have dimension because the edges of them first were inked. Some of them were inked with black stays-on, and some of them were inked with silver stays-on.
Oh, that's where that shine is coming from.
So you're getting just a little extra dose
Okay.
of shine,
Well,
and
let's-
it's still sort of kind
Let's
of
go over on the right-hand
dark
side.
and vintage looking with the papers and that black vine. Just
I just was
beautiful.
wondering if that was suede.
No,
it's
it's
black
black
cardstock,
cardstock.
but it's so striking.
Just
Look
beautiful.
at that.
So just add your little flowers in different color combinations around it. And
what's interesting is that they use the silver linen as a mat behind this photo. And the dazzles,
which are the scrapbooking dazzles for the on butterfly wings.
Right, and they are gold with a silver edge, with a silver foiling on the edge.
But it doesn't take away, it adds to it. Just a few of those little butterflies. It's just a beautiful, beautiful look.
Isn't that gorgeous? And this is a Cherish Classic Moment. Is part of the dazzle set, as are the butterflies and so forth. But just, isn't that lovely? Now we may only give you one scrapbook page, but at least it's a glorious one, you know?
It's a showstopper.
It is a showstopper.
So those are the new spring flowers, what we're calling spring flowers, cutting dies from Dee's, and just a great variety. Lots of things you can do with them.
Lots of things you can do with them. Lots of ways you can combine them with other things you already have.
Right.
Good job, Dee, and good job, design team.
Have fun.